Most buyers don't lose the deal during acquisition, they lose it after they close. They just don't realize it until it's already their problem, and that's the fatal blind spot. Traditional buyers validate what's working today, but they fail to validate what collapses the moment they replace the owner. And that is exactly where deals die. And at Deal Founders, we don't wait for that failure. We simulate it before our client ever speaks to the seller, before a single LOI is drafted, before capital is even positioned. Because here's the truth that no one tells acquisition amateurs, is that 95% of deals that look perfect on paper would not survive a real transfer of power. And it's not because of bad numbers, it's not because of bad industries, but because the business was never built to survive owner removal at scale. And what most buyers don't understand is post-acquisition fragility is predictable with precision if you know how to see it before you step into the room. And that's why our clients don't explore opportunities. They enter only once we've already predetermined the outcome. We don't hunt for deals. We manufacture inevitability. Now, one of our clients, Lucas Renault, he proved this in real time. His acquisition of a $4.1 million food manufacturing company in California was the kind of deal most buyers celebrate right before it destroys them 6 months later. The kind of business most buyers would have celebrated by week 2 of due diligence. It's got strong recurring contracts, healthy margins, stable customers, zero debt pressure. On paper, flawless. And that's exactly when most buyers lose everything. Because the biggest risks in acquisitions are never visible when the owner is still holding it together. But we don't wait for paper to crack. We detect where it will crack. And we weaponize it before anyone else knows it exists. So before Lucas ever spoke to the seller, we had already run 18 failure simulations on his business as if the owner had vanished overnight. Not next year, not during a smooth transition, immediately, without warning, because that's the only way to know if the business survives when it is finally yours. And what we found is exactly where 99% of buyers die without even understanding what just killed them. When we ran the failure simulations, we found the one risk that kills more acquisitions than anything else. 30% of total revenue was not secured by contract, not protected by infrastructure, not institutionalized inside the business at all. It lived in one personal handshake between the founder and a single key buyer. Now, here's where most buyers panic and walk away. Because in their mind, they're no longer buying a company. They're absorbing a human relationship they can't transfer. And that's the flaw in traditional acquisition logic. Most buyers try to make the deal safer. Okay, we do the opposite. We make the risk explicit, and then we use it as leverage. So instead of asking the seller to explain the relationship, we stress tested it without revealing intent. We simply shifted the conversation into future tense, as if Lucas already owned the company. And that's when it happened. The seller stopped speaking in guarantees. He slipped into hope. Oh, they're loyal. We should be fine. Now, if you understand deal psychology, you understand this is the most dangerous sentence in acquisitions. We should be fine. Because loyalty is not transferable. Hope is not infrastructure, and we do not transact on assumption. But here's the part that matters. Most buyers discover this too late, after the wire. And we discovered it before the terms were even drafted, which meant Lucas was never exposed. The seller was. He wasn't holding a stronger hand. He was now caught, admitting the business could break without him. From that moment forward, price was no longer a number, it was gravity. Because once risk becomes undeniable, who carries it decides who controls the deal. And we made sure it wasn't our client. Most buyers would have tried to negotiate the price down at this point. And that is exactly why most buyers never get power, only discount. We don't argue for price. We structurally transfer risk until price mathematically falls on its own. So here's what we engineered for Lucas. Before a single term would ever reach the seller, the $4.1 million price stopped being a price. It became the ceiling, never the commitment. A 100% seller financed deal, not SBA, not bank exposure, zero personal capital deployed. We wired just 10% into escrow, but only as a placeholder, returned back to Lucas before any real risk existed. The remaining 90% fully deferred, performance triggered only. If that fragile revenue stayed, the seller got paid. If it decayed, his payout froze permanently. And this is the part most people don't believe because they've never seen control done correctly. Day one, operational control transferred instantly to Lucas. No transition phase, no co-pilot period, no shared steering, immediate authority, immediate command, no capital exposure. The seller walked away without a clean exit, still tied to performance, legally and financially responsible for stabilizing the exact risk he tried to hide. And Lucas acquired a business that not only generates stable cash flow, but became 16% more profitable within the first quarter after we activated the post-close operational playbook. He didn't buy a business, he acquired engineered inevitability. And this is why at Deal Founders, we don't negotiate deals. We build structures where failure is impossible for our client and inescapable for anyone else. Most people think acquisition success is decided at the wire, and it isn't. Most buyers die after they close. And it's not because the business was bad, but because they had no system for post-acquisition compression and control. But that's where our work actually begins. The moment Lucas signed, we activated the Deal Founders 100-day post-acquisition playbook. And here is exactly what that looks like. Step one, remove owner dependency immediately. Now, we don't ease out founders. We make the business operable without them from day one. We mapped every single key dependency and began neutralizing them the same week. Step two, institutionalize every fragile relationship. That handshake-based revenue stream, okay, it no longer lived inside one man's personal trust. We converted it into structured, system-backed retention architecture and fast. Step three, install power-based operating cadence, not reporting, not management, command architecture. The business began operating under disciplined executive rhythm, not reactive motion. Step four, activate cash conversion compression. We tightened billing cycles, restructured fulfillment stress points, pulled forward liquidity without increasing operational drag. And then finally, step five, acquire the operator, not just the company. We don't let clients become the operator. We help Lucas recruit and install a true general manager, not an employee, an actual operator capable of owning the machine. And the result? Well, within the first 100 days, revenue was up 16%. And that's not from hope. It's not from growth. It's from engineered operational extraction built on risk removal, not speculation. That is what acquisition is supposed to look like, not a lottery ticket, a controlled transition of power that compounds immediately because fragility was removed before ownership ever transferred. Most people think that acquisitions are about buying a strong business, and they are wrong. It's not about how strong the business is. It's about how breakable it becomes the moment the original owner is gone. And that's why most buyers lose, not because they overpaid, but because they inherited fragility that they never detected. Meanwhile, our clients don't step into fragility, they step into inevitability, because by the time they enter the conversation, we've already disarmed the risk, inverted the leverage, and engineered the win. Lucas didn't gamble. He didn't get lucky or negotiate unusually well. He walked into a room we had already rigged in his favor. So understand this clearly. Deal Founders is not for the curious. It exists only for serious entrepreneurs, ambitious professionals, and acquisition-minded investors who are ready to act, not explore. We don't give frameworks. We replace the entire acquisition infrastructure end to end, from sourcing, due diligence, and negotiation architecture to capital engineering, financing, and investor intros, and post-close operational control. If you're currently building someone else's wealth, already running your own company, or actively deploying capital and simply require the right high-level engine behind you, then you came to the right place. We didn't build Deal Founders to teach you. We built it to give you an unfair business acquisition advantage, end to end. Go to dealfounders.com and submit your acquisition application. And if you're qualified, we'll secure your first or your next company within 4 to 6 months. It's not theory. It's not exploration. An actual acquisition. Do not apply to browse. Apply only if you're prepared to own. This is not education. This is controlled inevitability for those qualified to handle it. This is Deal Founders, the art of deal making.